What's up guys, welcome back to another video on What If Deku was in SAO Part 6. Now, I know I've been gone for a while and I had to work through some stuff, but we're back in action hopefully. I recommend go check out my gaming channel. I'm doing a Apex Legends series over there. And if you want to play Apex Legends, just DM me over on Discord and we can play a couple games if y'all want to. I'm trying to just not get into that right now. I'll probably get into it later at your time, though. Let's shout out all the people that joined the Discord. Keen Karamao, TTV Boilo, Rolo 12, God. Novas Go Super, Sembi, Harmick, twice. Johnny Joke Star, Con No Shadow, Beats, Kobos, Harmick again, Justin CB. Thank you all for joining Discord, and if you guys want to join the Discord, go check out the link in the description down below to get your name shout out. If I accidentally mispronounce your name, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. As well as another thing, what was I about to say? I had something on my mind and I was about to say it, but now I can't remember. I was just about to say something. Oh yeah, I was checking out YouTube Studios and I saw you guys would like shorter videos because you guys don't watch full length of my actual videos. The average view duration is anywhere from 6 to like 7 to 8 minutes. So it's about like 6 to 8 minutes. So I decided that I'm going to start posting shorter videos for you guys so you guys don't have to sit through the video as long. So let's jump straight into this what if. Where we last left off, Izuku had just left the house. After talking to Kirito and Asuna, he knew Kirito and Asuna were going to continue to raid after joining the Knights, or joining the same guild. Izuku understood this and didn't have anything against it, but he knew that he was going to go do something else in the meantime. Not saying that he didn't want to get out, but in this world here, he has capabilities. He has the ability to do something. Granted, he could do something in the real world as well, but in here, it's just easier. He was already well known, so only thing that he can do here is find out more information. There's something that interested him when he was watching Kirito duel the leader of the guild Kirito's currently in, because he had swapped over after wanting to go on a honeymoon with Asuna. Of course, Izuku found this whole entire event just at base weird, but he had noticed that the man seemed to move very quickly, and that Izuku really couldn't get too much information on the man's character, stats, and anything else with his eyes. Now this confused Izuku in more ways than one. He couldn't understand why this was a thing. So he figured that at base, maybe the man himself was most likely someone else, or maybe a hacker of sorts. But then Izuku thought if he was a hacker, that wouldn't make sense, because the game master, even though you can't contact, is obviously staying around in the background. Almost everyone knows this. Izuku probably knows this the best. He already deduced that the guy must be watching him, or at least something like that if he got a special skill. Then again, Izuku doesn't know for sure if an AI gave it to him or if he just has the special skill at base. This didn't matter to Izuku yet, but he decided to think about it in the future. If a situation comes from it that he needs to use this, then he could very well simply try to track down the man. Right now, Izuku didn't need to track him down, but it was a tempting prospect to do. Izuku chilled for now, thinking about anything else that could be happening in his life currently, and almost laughed at the fact that out of everything he's here in a game of all things. He wondered how his family felt, you couldn't call him much of a friend to Izuku, but how Bakugo felt about this whole situation himself. Izuku knew Bakugo very well and knew that Bakugo was rather aggressive when it comes to some things, so he wouldn't be surprised if Bakugo did anything dumb by any means of the stretch of his imagination. So then Izuku decided to just wait for the time being. He didn't know what was going to happen, but he knew that hopefully something happened. Suddenly, he heard someone scream. He quickly went to go check it out. To his shock, he didn't see much actually happen, which confused him. Seems like the woman just screamed for no reason. Izuku got the woman to calm down, and after having the woman calm down, she just looked at Izuku like he was a madman before going back to screaming. This annoyed Izuku quite heavily until he ended up realizing that this woman was an NPC. Izuku didn't know why it took him so long to realize, but it did. Only after finding it out, though, did he realize that everything just seemed off for some reason. Very off. Didn't make too much sense. Eventually, Izuku just wanted to know. He looked around and didn't see much going on. Then he ended up spotting it, someone out of the corner of his eye. Izuku went to go hunt down the person, but the person was quickly escaping. They seemed to be very secretive, and that's when Izuku spotted it. On the hand of the person that was leaving away was a symbol that Izuku had grown all too familiar with over his years of hunting down red players. It was the laughing coffin symbol. Izuku almost knew instantly exactly what that was. Izuku bit the inside of his mouth, drawing blood. He didn't know who this man was, but obviously this man had done something. Izuku decided to pull back for now and regroup. He only had himself on this mission, and there wasn't much else that he could do other than trying to get through it. Izuku eventually got to an inn and started to sit down and, look over all the information he had. His information wasn't as explicit as he would like, but he knew that this man or woman, he didn't even know the sex of the person he was hunting down, was appearing to attack or test something. The thing it does seems to make the person in fear of whatever was going on. Maybe it's some sort of skill that inflicts a status condition that is very unknown or unique. Izuku didn't know entirely. He decided to start piecing things together. Since he never got a good look at the man or woman, or the perpetrator to be more exact, he couldn't actually tell what all the skills the man had, or the name, or anything. Izuku sat there very carefully, thinking about his options he had as he looked at the time. He saw it was getting kinda late. So he decided. He figured the person who had committed this act would probably try to come after him, seeing how he had saw what happened. Tying up the loose ends is a very common cliche, to say the least. Izuku assumed that this was going to happen relatively shortly, so he prepared himself for the event. Before he eventually ended up laying down, he stalked out all night, and eventually someone did walk in. They quickly dashed throughout his room, though, seeming to only touch very few things. Izuku lay dormant, though, still wanting to try to just get a look at the person directly. He couldn't see too much, though, of the person, and given that it was dark and they were wearing a black robe, it was even harder to detect their movements. Eventually, Izuku sighed, almost being picked up by the man himself. Nothing was picked up yet, though, which made Izuku be very happy for the situation. He ended up looking around and noticing that there wasn't much else he could do. So he decided to try to confront the person. He stood up and lunged at the person, trying to take him out in one quick blow. Sadly, apparently the man had anticipated this and dodged out of the way, jumping left. Izuku clicked his tongue before looking around trying to seem to spot the person. They had quickly dashed out the window. Izuku caught a glance, though, at their face, which gave him as much information as he needed to know. He found out the man wasn't a man, it was a woman, actually. The name was weird, of course, seeing how it gave the username, but the username was really simple. Fulgur, which is a weird username to say the least. If Izuku remembered correctly, Fulgur means lightning in Latin, which Izuku thought was weird. He looked through the skills and saw all the skills the female had possessed. He noticed that the female seemed to possess a unique skill called Shrieking Attack. Izuku figured that this was the skill that had been used on the NPC the other day. Obviously, the woman seemed to have just gotten it. She also was a part of Laughing Coffin, which was quite scary. If Laughing Coffin had a person that can make you see your deepest, darkest fears, then there was nothing you could do to stop him. Izuku decided to try to track down this woman. He was able to see where she had a house at, and decided to go pay her a visit the next day. So, until then, he laid down in his bed and closed his eyes to relax. He almost giggled to himself, thinking how fun the next day was going to be. And as he slowly drifted asleep. That's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. If you liked it, hit the like button. And if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. Until next time, goodbye.